Hello and welcome. This is round number 2 of CISSP Jeopardy. I think I'm showing the website right now. It has the audio of the course material that you can stream, and you can order a book of the course material. All the Jeopardy questions come from the CISSP or the CyberSecStudy course material. So read the book, listen to the audio. There are 15 rounds of Jeopardy that are also uploaded onto YouTube. So you do all three: read the book, listen to the audio, play the Jeopardy rounds. My guarantee is that you'll pass the exam the first time. All right, this is round number 2. You guys should see the Jeopardy board now.
This is Jeopardy!
All right, round number 2. Our categories are Domain 7, Security Operations. Domain 8, Security in the System Development Lifecycle. We round robin back to domain number 1, Security and Risk Management. Domain 2, Asset Security. Domain 3, Security Engineering. And Domain 4, Communications and Network Security. So since we've missed the last couple of weeks, we do have our Terminator on site, but I'm going to pick randomly. Anthony, if you are with us, can you unmute your microphone and make the first selection?
Yeah, I'll go with domain 2, asset security for 200.
Here we go. All right, first correct response. A lot of people jumped on this one. The first one is from Becky, the Terminator. What is metadata? Data about data. Wikipedia defines metadata as information about how long a document is, who the author is, when the document was created, and a short summary of the document. All that information that the that NSA said they were collecting was just metadata is really still sensitive data. That's, you know, with metadata you can tell more about a person than they know about themselves. All right. Let me clear that one out. All right, Becky.
Okay, let's stay with that's asset security. Let's go with 1,000 for security and risk management, please. I'll go with big money.
All right, domain 1 for 1,000. First correct response is Becky. Again, get the big ones early. That's your game plan. What is risk management? Risk management is a systematic approach to identifying, analyzing, prioritizing, and responding to risk. So those are the 4 steps of risk management. I think when most people hear risk management, they think of the assessment in terms of looking at the likelihood versus the impact of a threat, overcoming a vulnerability. But keep in mind that risk assessment is a part of the analysis. That's step 2 of risk management. All right, Becky.
Okay, let's go for 800 in domain 1.
Here we go.
Oh, you did 200. Oh, eight,
Oh.
you did 200?
You did say 800, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First correct response is from Walter. What is compliance? Compliance refers to the process or the processes that an organization implements to ensure sufficient response to all applicable rules, policies, regulations, or laws. So a corporation that processes a lot of payment card transactions would fall under PCI DSS. Any federal agency would fall under FSMA, and so forth. All right, Walter.
I'll take domain 4 for 1,000.
All right, go for the jugular. Here we go. First correct response, again, is Walter. What is a segment? The old network security domain is now domain 4. So a message is typed by a user at the application layer of the OSI model. The message is then sent down the OSI reference model to the presentation layer, where it's properly formatted into the syntax and semantics that the application requires. The message is then passed down to the session layer of the OSI model, and all these things that are happening to the message are called encapsulation. All right, that was domain 4 for 1,000, but it didn't clear out. Let me do my trusty little trick here. All right, there we go. Walter.
Domain 4 for 800, please.
Domain 4 for 800. Yeah, this answer is a little vague, and I didn't get the practice information out to you guys on this, so everybody's going cold. All right.
It was the first letter.
First letter, M. I think I might change this one up a little bit, but I do have Becky got the correct response.
Okay, yeah, that threw me off, but yeah, I was thinking about that. I said, okay.
Yeah, it should say something like something at the application layer of the OSI model. It's called a message. Information at the application layer is called a message. I'll take a note to make that change. All right, that was for 800. Okay, Becky?
Give it to me. Okay, let's see. Let's go 600. Stay with networking. Domain 4.
Domain 4 for 600. First correct response, Walter. She just got you. She typed in the initials, and that's how she got you. She typed in 3 letters. What is the data link layer? What layer of the OSI is that?
2.
Layer 2. That's the Donald layer. In my so you should have a mnemonic for how information travels up the OSI layer from layer 1 to layer 7. And then a separate mnemonic for how information travels down from layer 7 to layer 1. Mine going up is Parker Donald needs to send people away. I wish I can fit kids in there somehow. All right, Becky.
Okay, I'm going to go with security engineering for 1,000.
Domain 3 for 1,000. I have one incorrect response, and then I have a correct response. Becky corrected herself and then corrected herself again and just beat out. She just got you, Anthony. Correct response is what is firmware. It's usually a read-only memory device that contains hard-coded instructions that tell the computer what to do during startup. If anybody's familiar with the cloud and virtualization, there's something called a hypervisor, which is like a small piece of code similar to the firmware or the BIOS, and you can turn the system on, boot up to the firmware can then point to the hypervisor, which manages multiple virtual images. All right, that was domain 3 for 1,000 that didn't clear out. All right, Becky.
Okay, let's go for, I'm going to try to bounce around here. 1,000 for asset security.
All right, domain 2 for 1,000. First correct response. I got a couple of incorrect responses, but the first correct response is from Becky. What is purging or sanitizing? Purging and sanitizing are the same thing. Purging or sanitizing digital media involves removing data in such a way that the data cannot be recovered. So with purging or sanitizing, the information is permanently removed, yet the media, like the hard disk or CD-ROM or USB drive, those can still be reused. All right, Becky. I think you're on mute.
300 for,
Say again, Becky.
what did I say? Security engineering, domain 3.
Domain 3, how much?
800.
800, okay.
Please, thank you.
All right, here we go. First correct response. Becky, you said you didn't study this round. I'm starting to think I don't believe you. Arithmetic logic unit. This is where calculations and numeric calculations are performed. The arithmetic logic unit performs calculations of a numeric nature and comparative logic functions, part of the CPU, Central Processing Unit. All right. That was domain 3 for 800. Okay, Becky.
All right. See, I'm going to go to my weak spot here now. I haven't been domain 7 for a long time, so let's go there. Let's go for 1,000. 1,000 in security operations.
I haven't
Domain
been there
7.
for a while. It's my weak area. But let's go for it. All right. Here we go. First correct response comes from the person who claims this is their weak area and they want to stay away from it. What is contingency? So contingency is defined as a future incident or circumstance that's possible but can't be predicted with certainty. And contingency planning involves developing a strategy for how to respond quickly to a potential incident. And I always see these contingency plans where they just take everything into consideration. And the example they give during the contingency test is that a meteor strikes the data center. So I like to, yeah, I like to make these tests go after the actual hardware, software components of the system. So if a database is a part of the system, then contingency plan could be that a table in the database is corrupted or the whole database becomes corrupted, and how you would respond and who would respond in what order and so forth. All right. That was domain 7 for 1,000. Was that? And that was Becky. All right, Terminator.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go for 800 for domain 2. Going around.
Domain 2, 800. Removal of sensitive data from storage devices. I might need to reword that a little bit. So let me just give you a hint. It's removed from storage in such a way it's done so it's removed from storage in such a way that there is assurance that the data may not be reconstructed using normal system functions or software file data recovery utilities. The data is still can still be recovered, but not without some special circumstances. So I think the first one we had was purging or sanitizing, and that the information is permanently removed, but the media is still reusable. That's what's important about that one. With clearing, when you do it, you do like a delete, to delete a file or even formatting a hard drive. The information, you think it's gone, but it can still be recovered. And the media, of course, can still be reusable. And those 2 points are what's important. But with clearing, you need to download one of those special applications to be able to recover the information. All right. I don't think no one got that one. So let's go back to Becky.
I put clearing in there.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Look at my
yeah. Okay, I see it. All right.
Okay.
Are you keeping your score, Becky?
No, I don't keep scores. I just like to pick them. I don't keep scores. I really don't. I hope you keep scores. I don't keep scores. I just like to pick them. Anyway, let's go. 800 asset security.
All right. Domain 2. Actually, we just did that one. We just did domain 2, 800. It didn't clear properly. Let me implement my new secret strategy. All right, the board's clear now, Becky.
I could go to my weak spot. I haven't done security in the SDLC for a while.
Yeah,
Let's do that one.
Everybody hates that.
Yeah, I know. You notice no one has touched that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go 1,000 for security in SDLC for those that want to make big money.
All right, here we go. All right, This one is proving to be as difficult as most people imagine. The thing with software development is, you know, we don't have to be software developers, but we have to know a lot about the different generations of software development, how code was written as machine code, and eventually through the generations progressed to human readable form. Now, heck, I put my 9 and 11-year-old into a coding class, and they didn't have to write any code. They just click on what they want to show on the screen, and the code was written already for them.
Yeah.
But this, what'd you say, Becky?
I said that's something.
Yeah.
They just the code is written. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, we used to, I mean, early generations of software development, we were trying to tell the computer exactly what to do and exactly what not to do. And we could tell it what to do properly, but not tell it what not to do. And if certain, you know, information was put in or circumstances occurred, then it would time out and not know what to do. So with object-oriented programming, we're looking at the data and how we classify data and having pointers to different classifications and different categories of information. And then the code is just how you manipulate the information, not necessarily telling the computer what to do and what not to do. So this one here, this type of code is also known as pseudocode. It's an outline of a program, and the correct response is bytecode. Bytecode is also referred to as pseudocode or P code, and it's usually an outline of a program written in a form. It can easily be converted into real programming statements, but unlike human readable source code, bytecode are compact numeric codes that are closer to machine/object code than source code.
Is bytecode readable? Is it readable or it's not? It's machine code?
It's closer to machine code, but there are short, you know, like get statements, short words that are readable, but they don't really tell you very much. When we get into the later generations, the 4th and 5th generations of programming languages, the code is all human readable, you know, well, most of it anyway. When they program bombs and missiles to navigate to certain locations, they're usually using small code, small programming languages like bytecode. All right, Becky.
Okay, I'm going to go to my stronger point. Let's go. I want to clear out, let me see, domain 4 for 400.
All right, here we go. Domain 4 for 400. First correct response is from the Terminator. This OSI layer is responsible for choosing the best path. What is the network layer? Network layer is layer 3 of the OSI model. It's responsible for choosing the best path for routing packets of information.
I was just a second quicker than Walter. He got it right though. He got it.
Yeah, you got, oh, he did say third in there. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
You guys, you can still learn a lot from this experience, even if you're not getting the correct or getting to get the response in first, because we have the fastest typer in the world playing the game. All right, Becky.
Okay, let's go. Let's clear out domain 4 for 200.
All right, little money. Two incorrect responses. First correct response is from Walter. What is the transport layer? Layer 4 of the OSI model. This is where where the session layer deals with the communication between two applications. The transport layer deals with the communication between two computers. And a lot of the information for this networking and security domain is encapsulated in one of our muscle memory charts. So muscle memory charts are in the course material. It's just a table of the information, what's important. So we've got a table that has rows for each layer of the OSI model, and like and then the columns for things like the services that are offered at that layer, the protocols that work at that layer, what layer of the OSI model it is, which layer that layer corresponds to in relation to the TCP/IP reference model versus the OSI reference model. So all the most important information you need to know about that domain is in the muscle memory. All right, that was domain 4 for 200. To finish out that category, and Walter, the board's yours.
Let's go with domain 7 for 800.
All right, here we go. And some of these maybe layups, but don't let the easy ones trip you up. The first correct response is from the Terminator. What is an asset? The thing that I've learned, I spent most of my career in the federal government as a consultant, or first in the Army as a full-time soldier, and then as a consultant the remainder of my career. But it was the last couple of years I've been working with in the financial sector with KPMG and these big four auditing firms. Their primary focus is on identifying business processes, and then what people perform those processes, finding points of segregation where you can have separation of duties between who's performing what part of a business process, but defining and identifying the assets within the corporation, whether they be human assets or physical assets, is a part of that process, and it's paramount. All right. The board did clear properly. Okay, Becky.
Okay, let's I'm staying away from security and SDLC. Let's domain 7 for 600.
All right. First correct response, Terminator. What is an incident? And there is a difference between an event and an incident. An incident could be an event or a series of events, but it has to have a negative impact on the security posture of the system. So an unauthorized user logging into the network and accessing system resources would be an incident. All right, Becky.
Okay, 400 for domain 7, please.
First correct response, Walter. I'm telling you, man.
That was a layup. You just told me.
Yeah, I just told you guys that one. But Walter,
Becky. I just typed a little faster. That's all.
What are events? So an event could be that somebody walks into the computer room. But if that's one of the system admins who's authorized access to the computer room, then it's just an event and it's not an incident. If someone who's not authorized access gains access, then it's an incident. All right, that didn't clear out. All right, Becky.
Let's go for 600 in domain 3.
Here we go. Correct response from the person who said they weren't prepared for this round. Becky, what is a control unit? Yet another part of the CPU. The control unit coordinates activities of the CPU components during program execution. So it's like the traffic cop, where the ALU, or the arithmetic logic unit, is where the actual computations and calculations take place. All right, Becky.
Okay, where was it? Security engineering. Let's do the next one, 400 for domain 3.
All right. That's another layup. First response is Walter. CPU, Central Processing Unit. Wikipedia defines CPU as the hardware within a computer that carries out the instructions of the computer program by performing the basic arithmetic, logic, and input-output operations of the computer system. The brain of the computer, CPU. All right, Walter.
Let's go domain 8 for 800.
All right, here we go. First response is from Becky. What is what is closed source code? Windows operating system, the iOS. Those are all examples of closed source code. And of course, there are big debates on whether open source code is better than closed source code from a security perspective. And it really depends. I mean, you could justify reasons why either are more secure. With closed source code, you're saying that not a lot of developers or people who can read code are able to see it. Therefore, they may not be able to recognize weaknesses. Whereas with open source code, the developers can see the source code and see vulnerabilities, but then you're relying on them to report it, and which would make the software more secure because a lot of different folks can find the weaknesses. Whereas with closed source, not a lot of folks will be able to see the information. All right. That was domain 8 for 800 that didn't clear out. All right, Becky.
Okay, I'm going to go 600 for domain 1.
Domain 1, 600. That's close, Becky. No cigar. That's close too, Walter. You guys are diving into the examples of this term. You're not exactly wrong. but not really getting at exactly what this question. So a discipline that focuses on IT performance and risk management. Those are the key words. Another incorrect response. The correct response is governance. Governance. What did you say, Becky?
Oh no. We were all over that.
Yeah, when you see that term governance, think about performance
Makes sense.
and
Makes
risk
sense.
management within an organization. If you're providing governance of your organization, the CEO or the president of the corporation, whoever is at the top of the food chain, if they're providing governance, they're looking at, the performance of business processes. Hopefully they've documented those business processes and they've defined metrics to measure how well those business processes are performed. And then they're assessing risk. What's the risk to the corporation losing one of its assets, and what would be the impact? What's the likelihood of it losing one of its assets, and what would be the impact if it did? All right, but the key words with governance are performance and risk management. All right, we'll go back to Becky.
Okay, let's 400 for domain 1, please.
To close that one out. No responses yet. Unless my system is just slow. All right. An initial state from which things are measured or compared. Think about a brand new computer system that doesn't have an operating system on it. You take it out of the box, install the operating system, and then configure it properly. I have a correct response from Becky. What is a baseline? Baseline is a benchmark, an initial state from which things are measured or compared. So you install that operating system, you turn off all of its capabilities and only turn on the ones that are necessary for people within your organization to perform the business processes that need to be performed. And whatever configuration settings that are turned on and turned off, that's the baseline. All right, Becky.
Okay, let's go for 600 for domain 2.
Domain 2, 600. Correct response from the Terminator. My goodness, Becky. I think you're ready.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm not ready.
I think you're ready. The people who do well at Jeopardy pass the exam the first time. If you can dominate at Jeopardy, you're ready. All right, what is data remnant? Just like writing information on a piece of paper with a pencil, you can erase the information, but that indentation is still there. Electronic media works the same way. You delete information, you even purge your hard drive, and it's still there. The information can still be recovered. Only way to permanently delete it is by degaussing it with a big magnet, a really strong magnet, or take a hammer to it. I see some folks on TV put it in the microwave, but I'd destroy that sucker. All right, domain 2, 600. Okay, Becky.
Okay, we'll go for 400. Clear that out.
Clear out that domain. Two main types of hard drives. These hard drives use flash memory to store data. First correct response is from Anthony. What are solid state drives? Again, these use flash memory. And flash memory electronically stores bits of data in many arrays of memory cells. Unlike hard disk drives, mechanically moving pieces are not required. So with your normal hard disk drive, you've got that rotating disk, and anytime you have moving parts, you have the possibility for issues to happen. With solid state drives, you don't have that spinning disk and those moving parts, so they usually can last longer. All right, Anthony, go ahead and unmute your microphone and make the next selection.
I'll go with 200 for domain 2, security engineer.
Domain 2 is closed, security, and that's domain 3. All right, domain 3 for 200. First correct response. Man, Anthony, she just got you. She just got you. You both typed 2 letters to be fast about it. And she still got you. Correct response. What is a hard drive? Computer hardware consists of the physical parts of the computer. Components of the computer system, such as the hard drive, the keyboard, mouse, monitor, CPU. All right, Becky.
That dreaded security and SDLC. Domain 8 for 600.
You can run, but you can't hide. Domain 8 for 600. Correct response is from Becky. What is open source code? So, I mean, that's a good point about, I think, doing these Jeopardy sessions. You can identify what your weak points are, and you know what you need to spend more time focusing on. With open source code, the source code is made available for any software developer to adjust or modify. Think of Linux. If anybody has any experience with Kali Linux, I've downloaded a virtual image of Kali, and it comes preloaded with all the attack tools you need to be a very dangerous script kiddie. All right, Becky.
Okay, let's go 400 for domain 8.
Human readable program instructions. We just talked about this. All right, first correct response is from Anthony. What is source code? Source code is human readable program instructions in their original form. So again, we don't have to be software developers. We just have to be able to recognize these terms and know what they mean. All right, Anthony, the board's yours.
Yeah, I'll go with domain 7, 200.
Domain 7, 200. That's a good try, Becky. Not correct. The first correct response. I'm going to give it to Walter. Not exactly what I had, but close enough. What is a SOC? Security Operations Center. You put a NOC. Same thing. All right, so a SOC, Wikipedia defines Security Operations Center as a location where enterprise information systems, websites, applications, databases, all these things, where all of these information systems are monitored, assessed, and defended. You have a lot of intrusion detection systems in there that they're looking for potential incidents. All right, and the last answer for this round going now. First correct response is from the Terminator. What is machine code? Also referred to as object code. Machine code represents the actual bits and bytes that are executed by a computer CPU. So in most cases, programmer will write program instructions in source code, human readable form, and then there's either a compiler or an interpreter that converts that source code into machine code, which the computer can understand. And the more human readable that source code is, the higher the generation of computer software development languages, whether it be first generation to fifth generation. All right. That concludes this round. Thank you guys for participating. I'm going to stay online. I'm going to stop recording, but I'll stay online if anybody has any questions or comments, want to talk about anything. All right. Thanks again. Take care, guys.